You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Welcome. Yeah, that's the word. Welcome to the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. We have some podding to do and some casting to get done. That's pretty much it. Like, that's what we do here. We pod and we cast and we talk wrestling. And tonight's no different. We're going to talk wrestling tonight. Tonight is the night where we talk wrestling. Last week was the week where we broke kayfabe. And hopefully by the time this episode is posted, the Breaking Kayfabe episode will be posted. And if it's not, you can go ahead and heap all that blame right here onto yours truly, because my fault, my bad, me no care. So, yeah, put that in your eye and put that in your eye and view it, if you will. And if you won't, freaking, do it anyway. Let's go ahead and get this shit show started. We have Beef the Legend with us today. We have Pook the Bard with us today. We have Tiger Bomb Tom with us today. And I am Ransom the Madman, who also just happens to be, thanks to a very mediocre pay-per-vent that was aired a couple weeks ago, which is called Extreme Rules. And maybe we'll talk about it, maybe we won't. But the thing that did happen during that was the Cruiserweight Championship came back home to the throne of the Mad King, back where it belongs. And I have to tell you this, I share the mantle of Cruiserweight Champion with the same man that helped to give birth to what we now know as the Cruiserweight Open. That's right, Big V, Big D, Big Bob Gray, Vapor, Dave, Bob Gray, whichever you will call it. The two of us came together in our intellectual sperm and egg and gave birth to the idea of the Cruiserweight Open, and how fitting it is that the title should come back to us, the two men responsible for your ability to put in your picks and potentially get yourselves a belt. If you put in your picks and, put them in consistently and pick every event that month, you guys know who you are who didn't do that. So, whoops. But hey, there's always this month. There's always October. Yet again, there will be another chance to dethrone the mysterious, allegedly Bob Gray and the Mad King himself. But enough of that insanity. We have what?
I don't think we're going to have a Cruiserweight Open in October.
What?
Yes. I mean, consensus is that we're not picking Blood Money. So
is that the only event in October?
That's the only event in October.
Wow!
I mean,
you get an extra month of your reign.
There's NXT Halloween Havoc, but meh.
Wow, are you not even excited about that?
I know, right? A Halloween-themed pay-per-view that I could give two shits because it occurs on a Tuesday night. So
this isn't a Peacock Network event special. This is a regular Tuesday NXT, except they're gonna do Halloween Havoc.
You got it, Fishbulb.
I have to ask Fishbulb. I have to ask a question here. And it's a partially sarcastic question because I'm angry at the fact, but at the same time, it's a partially legitimate question because freaking why? Why would you have a Halloween Havoc if it's just going to be on a regular Tuesday NXT? I understand. I know. Ransom, AEW has done special events that are, their weekly episodes, Dynamite and Hurricane and Ravager or Ruvager, whatever the second AEW show is. They've done special things to blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know, I get it, but this isn't just like a weirdly named NXT. This is Halloween Havoc. This is a very successful, in my opinion, because I'm an old WCW guy, this is a very successful former WCW pay-per-view, and it's called Halloween Havoc. It's happening in October. Why is this not happening on a Saturday night? Why is it not a big deal?
Why
Is
are
it
we
because
not
of the letters
funding this?
WCW?
Why are we not funding this? I like that.
Is it because of the letters WCW? Is that why this is happening on a Tuesday and is nothing very whoop-de-doo at all?
Well, so
Yep.
let's keep in mind.
Short answer, yep.
Probably. Yeah, probably. But let's put things into perspective here. It sounds like someone just did a bong rip.
I took a drink of water.
You don't know what. It's
allegedly.
responsible.
I took a drink of water, allegedly.
Anyway, so they've done the Great American Bash on a Tuesday. They've done, or actually probably it was a Wednesday at that point, but regardless. Halloween Havoc on there, like the weekly. They did it last year. I think they did another one on the weekly. I mean, hell, they had Starrcade as a special event that wasn't even fucking televised. So
it really is just, hey, we have the rights to these old WCW events, so we might as well use them, but
I think
we're just going to have it as a weekly thing.
Let's not give them
it's
too much
Hunter's-
credence.
I think it's Hunter's appreciation. It started as Hunter's appreciation for like the good things that WCW did, and there were good things that WCW did.
Sure.
So I think it starts there. But yeah, once Vince got his grubby little mitts on, he's like, nope, we're not doing that. Frankly, with NXT 2.0, I could give a damn.
So let's stop here for a second about Halloween Havoc, and let's talk about that statement that you just made right there, Beef, about it being NXT 2.0 and you could really give a damn. Have you given it time to digest? Have you given NXT 2.0 time to digest and make a rational decision on yes, no, you like it, you don't like it, or?
So I think I give NXT 2.0 about the same attention that I give AEW Dynamite. And
really? So that much?
Yes.
Because you're a pretty diehard AEW Dynamite watcher.
Yes,
right?
But I also am on my laptop like 90% of the time. However,
during AEW?
Yes. With Dynamite, I will take pauses in my games and look up and like pull my headphones off for like decent amounts of time and actually pay attention to what's happening, the product that's unfolding, and be able to appreciate a decent match. With NXT, I don't feel the need to do that. In the last month, since NXT 2.0 has come around, not once have I gone, "Ooh, I need to watch this." In fact, there was a week that I completely missed of NXT 2.0. Nothing happened.
Okay.
Another fucking Tony D'Angelo promo. Raquel defended her title against Taya Valkyrie, and surprise, surprise, Taya lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was wondering when they were there. I was wondering when they were going to actually have that.
What
match
the hell is her name? No, it's not Taya Valkyrie now.
Frankie Monet.
Frankie Monet,
which I don't have a big gripe with.
Ransom Bananarama. Bananarama.
I already have noise suppression on. I don't know
Extra
what you want me to do.
Bananarama it.
I can't do it. I don't have that option.
All right, so what was going on with anyway, go on. I'm sorry. I Bananarama. I'm sorry.
I thought they were supposed to originally have the Frankie Monet Raquel Gonzalez title match for the debut of 2.0.
No.
So maybe they got cold feet. I don't know. I thought I remember them talking about it. Well, I know it
was
didn't
supposed
happen,
to.
but that's what I'm saying. It was originally supposed to, but then fucking reasons. So I don't know.
Oh well.
Here's the thing with NXT 2.0. I appreciate what they're trying to do. They're trying to basically wean us off of the old NXT. They're trying to say, hey, indie wrestling is great, but it's not what you're going to see here in NXT anymore. You're going to see new people come up and basically have squash matches where there's not going to be any surprises. Save for here and there, every so often you see something that makes you go, oh, that's interesting. But for the most part, the new faces are going over. I get that this is taken 2 steps back and that it's gone from a brand to a developmental show. I would love to know what USA thinks about that. Because I'm pretty sure when USA said, yeah, you can have 2 hours of our precious time slot, that they were under the impression that they'd be getting a different product. Now it's basically just watching coaching from the performance center with smoke and mirrors.
Extra Bananarama push to talk.
Oh, you can suck a big fat hard one there, Tom. Your
I'm just making a
busted ass
suggestion.
finger or whatever. No, I'm not fucking doing push to talk. I was messing with my mic, and you can suck it. So, is it worse, the
Fiddle diddle.
ambiance of NXT 2.0? Like,
Yeah.
is like the arena that they're in, where they're at, the way it looks, is it worse than NXT was?
Well, and I mean, the other guys can chime in here, but I don't mind the arena setup. I hate that it's so bright and so neon in there.
Oh, well, it matches the tie-dye logo, though, right?
Yes.
Like, it's all about being bright and flashy, and
Yes.
look at here, look at us.
Well, and that's what they're really borrowing heavy. I sent you guys that picture of like the side by side of promo stuff from AEW and NXT 2.0. Like they're borrowing so heavily from AEW that it just is like it's feeling a little try-hardy. Like it's feeling a little like, hey guys, I'm cool too. It's almost like someone in 2003 going, hey guys, I'm really into the ska movement. They're like, dude, 96 really was a couple years ago. Like, like
that's a bummer.
And that's just, that goes to show how on the pulse Vince is with everything. The rebrand was 100% his idea. Whether or not Triple H and Shawn Michaels are still involved, to what capacity, that is notwithstanding. The rebrand and the new look, that's all, from the head of the chairman. So,
chairman.
Yeah, man, chairman.
So, it just goes to show that the man who was once on the cusp of like, hey, look what they're doing, let's try to do something like that, has become the man who is like, hey, look what they did, let's try to do something like that. There's not a direct correlation, excuse me, but I understand what you're saying, Putin, and it's 100% there, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
But the ambiance, yes, it takes away from it, but the in-ring style is what bugs me. They still have about one, maybe two matches that go Broadway. And whenever I say go Broadway, I mean is like a match that goes the full 20 minutes, has a victor that is not, that's a 50-50 toss, like we're not going to look at that and go, oh, so-and-so is definitely going to win that, or so, like maybe one or two matches a night are that now, whereas before it felt like it was a lot of competitive matches with decent time frames, and I don't know, I just like the presentation, the way that they're shoving all these new people down our throat, the way that the new people are getting all the breaks and all the pushes, it just the whole thing is just counterproductive for what I want NXT to be, and what I wanted it and enjoyed it as.
So where does that leave people that have been in NXT and are established in NXT, like Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Kyle O'Reilly? Are these guys going to be proverbial tossed by the wayside and get fed to new people so that the new people can get elevated? Or are they still going to be, do you think, prominently featured in a higher capacity?
I'm really hoping that Kyle O'Reilly joins Bobby Fish in AEW and they can reform Red Dragon.
Wait, Bobby Fish went to AEW?
Yeah.
Yep, he is all elite.
Whoa,
and he came out. He came out to Red Dragon's theme on Wednesday night.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Good for him.
So he just debuted this week.
Yep.
Yep. He had a banger of a match with Sammy Guevara for the TNT title.
Oh, nice. I
oh.
missed that because I caught some of the beginning part of Dynamite, but
Robert
again,
Fish.
there was a lot of distractions going on in the in the waiting room of the ER. There was this child screaming that I thought you would have thought they were murdering it, but literally it was just the petulant fucking.
Just a wonderful parenting job.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I'll say this: I think that Fish and Guevara probably had the best TNT title match I've seen yet. It was an absolute like clobber fest, and like if you like hard nosed technical matches, go back and watch it. Find a way and go back and watch it because it was something to behold. But to Ransom's point, where do they fall? Well, here's my concern. They're like, no, we're behind these guys. All of a sudden, Pete Dunne, whose muscle has been Ridge Holland's moving to the main roster because of the draft.
Wait, what now?
Yeah, Ridge Holland is going to SmackDown, I believe, leaving Pete Dunne on NXT with nobody.
So NXT was included in the draft?
Pete Dunne needs muscle, though. That's the thing. It's like he really doesn't.
I mean,
he doesn't, but still, like, when did this get confirmed or anything, or is it just speculation?
Nope, draft. Come on, Tom, keep up.
Sorry, man, I don't watch the weeklies. I can't.
Same here.
Yeah, but there are articles about these things you can read.
What?
Yeah, so Rich Holland is
news to me. Someone's going to tell me about it.
Yep.
And so Pete Dunne is basically an island to himself. Kyle O'Reilly has been working with Von Wagner, the new guy that was put into the Fatal 4-Way match in O'Reilly's place.
But why?
Yeah,
working with him.
Yeah, like he's been making
Cro-Magnon Edge.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've been working in like the same shots and things. Like they haven't been like a team or anything, but like they've been on camera together. Yeah, I mean everything is in a weird place of juxtaposition. I feel like Tommaso Ciampa is probably going to lose his belt to Braun Breaker at AKA Bronson Ricksteiner at Halloween Havoc.
Old Tommaso Ciampa. That's a shame.
And
Transitional Ciampa.
Gargano removed NXT from his I think Twitter bio. So
oh boy.
Well, I was gonna say they kind of like after the whole Dexter Lumis wedding. I think he was pretty much gonna take time off anyways because Candice is pregnant. I think they're having a boy.
Yes, that is correct.
Yep, little boy.
And they pulled
wrestling.
Austin Theory. They pulled Austin Theory from that, which was a great. I love their Gargano family angle. Like I thought it was brilliant and well acted on all of their parts. And they Austin Theory is now on Raw again because of the draft.
So let me ask you this about the draft beef. So NXT was included in the draft. Was it just people drafted out of NXT, or was anybody drafted into NXT?
Nope, just drafted out. Hit Row.
Wow.
Hit Row is now part of SmackDown, I believe. The entire stable of Hit Row.
What?
Yep.
Wait,
which means that he's going to be losing his North American title here soon.
Yeah, I was going to say
they're just cleaning house.
Like I was just about to ask what they did with the North American title, if they had him drop it yet or not. So.
Not yet, but that's probably going to be coming soon.
Hooray!
Probably going to be losing.
So this is just the great NXT purging is what this is turning out to be.
Yep.
So here's the thing. Like Pete Dunne took a new contract here not too long ago. So I think that he's it was literally probably at the end of August, like when we were pontificating about Adam Cole's deal and what he was going to do. Like Pete Dunne signed a long-term agreement with them, and that's fine. Not everyone can go to AEW, I think Pete Dunne is in a good place with them, but the question is, what the hell are they going to do with them?
Yep.
Especially now that they've taken Ridge Holland away from them. 2 weeks after him and Ridge Holland kicked out the old 1 and 2ers. Oney
Lorcan and Birch.
Yep, Oney Lorcan and Birch. After they lost the match, him and Ridge Holland kicked their asses. So and then now Ridge is gone. Although all of the draft picks don't take place or don't like officially happen until after Blood Money, so there's like 3 weeks of like weird tentative television where nothing is getting booked except for the Blood Money matches. It's just
Well, hold on,
Yeah.
wait, what? So they did the draft now,
yep.
but the draft choices or picks don't take into effect until after Blood Money.
That is correct.
Why? Never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
That's what happens when you trust your company
The bloodening.
to a man of 70 plus years old, almost 80, who doesn't know what the hell he's doing anymore.
Have we
Are we gonna start calling him?
gotten any? Sorry, go ahead.
Are we gonna start calling him Vince McMahon?
No,
Vince McMahon.
Vinny Maho.
Someone send Yokozuna out there.
Get him to Lex Luger. Did we get any confirmed matches for Blood Money yet?
Yes, sir.
Oh, give those to me. Lay them on me, Bubba.
Oh, you're gonna love him. You're gonna love him. Hold on, I'm pulling
Oh,
up now.
please let it be Goldberg.
Oh yeah, he's in it. Yep. Yep, he's
Yes.
in it. So where's it at? Where's Wikipedia? There we are. Goldberg is facing Lashley. That I know
Yeah.
for sure without looking at it.
Yes.
Roman's defending against Brock Lesnar.
Uh huh. Wow, they got
Um,
Brock Lesnar to go to Saudi Arabia.
Well, he done it before.
Oh, has
That's
he?
that's where Reigns beat, or no. Yeah, Reigns beat Lesnar because the cage wall broke off and Reigns like fell on the floor and they gave him the title. Like that's how they moved the title
Yep.
from Lesnar to Reigns.
Oh.
So they could do it, not in front of the fans.
Because
I think
of
that would have been the first Blood Money.
Because of my favorite kind of win, a technicality.
Uh, Becky Lynch, the SmackDown Women's Champion, who is going to be on Raw after the Blood Moneying, is defending against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, which who knows how that's going to go with it, being Saudi Arabia and all. Big E is facing Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship.
Oh,
and,
good.
RK
Drew's back in the
Bro-
picture.
RK Bro is defending against AJ and Omos. Drew's headed to SmackDown, by the way. So that's, I don't understand why the draft took place when it did. Because, for example, Becky Lynch is a SmackDown wrestler. We know that she's probably not, she's going to be a Raw wrestler. We know that she's probably not going to be holding the blue belt unless her and Charlotte trade. If they do like a simple swap, which I guess is possible. I think they've done that before with the tag team titles. But like Drew McIntyre, he's not going to win and take the title of SmackDown that already has its own title.
Did Charlotte get drafted to SmackDown?
She did. Yes, sir.
SmackDown.
And
I think she was like the second overall pick or third. I don't remember.
She's she one of the women's champions?
Yeah.
She is the Raw Women's Champion. Becky Lynch is the SmackDown Women's Champion.
So is there a good possibility that these two ladies are just gonna switch brands, and when Charlotte shows up on SmackDown, she's just gonna have the blue belt, and when Becky shows up on Raw, she's just gonna have the red belt? We're not gonna talk about the fact that Becky was just the SmackDown Women's Champion and now she's the Raw Women's Champion, because
Nope.
there's a definite distinction between both. It's just, oh, you're on this show now, so now you're this belt and this champion.
Possibility.
Reasons.
Like
They've done that before.
like I
They've
said,
done that before. They've done that
I think
before.
they've
Yeah.
done that with the tag team titles. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It's
Nope.
whatever.
I mean, I actually have a bigger problem with like Swerve Scott being drafted from NXT as an NXT champion. He's the North American champion, not like the actual. But I mean, we've seen how the NXT champion has fared on WWE TV. So God help him if he brings that title up, he'll probably just get squashed like the rest of them.
But wouldn't he have to? Well, I guess he wouldn't have to drop
Karrion
it before
Kross
he
did,
comes up.
yeah.
Because
Karrion
he
Kross
could-
held the title for a fucking month before he dropped it.
Yeah, so I mean, he could just go back to NXT on like a one-off and drop the title there after being on the main roster for a little bit.
Yep.
All right, that makes.
No.
That
does.
makes sense.
Stop. Stop. Don't say that because you don't mean it. None of us mean it, because the WWE is in a state of upheaval because nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Everything is so janky and wonky.
Janky.
Jingus.
I'm bereft. I am bereft. And damn near without words. Damn near without words. Damn near.
Dude, it's just this is why whenever I've said it so many times on podcasts before, and I'm gonna reiterate it.
Do it.
It chaps my ass so hard because I love
Not wrong.
I love
Not wrong.
I love wrestling so much. But like every time I talk to someone, they go, "Oh yeah, I used to watch wrestling back in the Attitude or the New Generation era or whatever." They're like, "Yeah, I fell out of it and everything." And I always tell people, if you're gonna watch wrestling, watch AEW. Don't watch WWE. I actively tell people don't watch WWE anymore. And it used to be don't watch Raw and SmackDown, watch NXT. Now I'm apprehensive. I'm apprehensive to even tell them that. Like, I just want to tell them, hey, do yourself a solid and just watch AEW because you won't know anybody there. You might know Chris Jericho and Christian and a couple other like people there. But like, look, you just watch AEW. It's more entertaining. It's better wrestling, and you'll have more fun.
Well, you know what? I think you nail it right there in the sheer aspect of you might not know everybody, but that's a very correct statement because, like Tom, I don't get the weeklies. I'm sure I could find some stream somewhere, but I have so much going on that it's not worth the effort to try to find some sort of live stream, and I don't know where I would go to watch a replay. But so
Exactly.
I don't watch the weeklies, but when we gathered at Beef's place for the last AEW pay-per-view, there were people on that pay-per-view that I didn't know. I had no idea who they were, but that didn't affect the enjoyment I got out of watching those matches. Just because I didn't know who somebody was, that had, for me at least, pardon me, and this is going to be one of those, to me,
Yeah.
it had zero effect on my enjoyment that I received from those matches. They were all phenomenal and fantastic, even if I didn't know those people. So, I think Poot really, he swung and he missed the baby and he hit the nail right on the head. You don't have to know these wrestlers. Watch it, and it's just freaking phenomenal, and it's great. And I feel like WWE has almost come into that full circle of just bewilderment and confusion that was WCW at WCW's end. Now, I'm not saying that WWE is at its end. It's not. It has way too much money for that. But just the amount of like, huh? What? Why? What? Huh? That's what you got out of WCW at the end. Like, why is this happening? What? Huh?
Yeah.
People used to say, "Don't watch." Yes, it is.
It's
like,
a whole bunch
end,
of but why though. Yeah.
Yes, I would say probably the last year, maybe last half a year of WCW's existence. It was basically the bulk of what I heard was, "Don't watch WCW. It's not worth it. Go watch WWE. Go watch WWF. Whatever it was called at the time. Go watch that." It was DEF. It was WWF. Go watch that. Don't watch WCW because it's a shit show. It's a clusterfuck. It's a trailer fire. Now I feel like people are saying the same thing about WWE. Don't watch Raw and SmackDown. Now we seem to be shifting into the maybe not watch NXT. Go watch AEW. It's like WCW went the full circle into full-blown WCW mode, and you never go full WCW.
Just ask Eric Bischoff.
Yeah. Oh.
No.
And I mean, I hate all the time riding, Tony Khan's jock and talking about how good their product is. And we're fair. We are fair people here. when AEW does something nonsensical or that we don't like, we
Like
call it out.
WWE Dynamite.
Right.
Oh, we've
No.
criticized AEW before. You know,
Like-
back when freaking what's his face, was it Matt Hardy got concussed and they let the match continue
Yep.
where it clearly should not have.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Or like-
we
or like-
discussed that.
Booking with Cody and things like that. Like
Yeah.
we've been fair, but I mean, again, I'll say it again for posterity. When I more or less keep both Dynamite and NXT on in the background as I'm doing something else, you know, gaming or something on my computer, I pick up and take notice more often on Dynamite than I do on NXT because Dynamite's a better show week in, week out. It has been, and it probably always will be.
Yeah, just with all the confusion surrounding this draft too, that makes you go like Poot is famous for saying, but why though?
I
Like,
love
why-
hearing your reactions, like because you know I understand that not everybody keeps up with it, and that's cool. But like I loved like reading and getting your reactions live to tape on this podcast about some of those draft picks and about the draft not actually taking effect until after Blood Money. Like that is very telling.
When is the bloodening part 28,000?
Like Thursday the 21st, I think, at like 2 p.m. or something. Eastern
Yeah.
Standard.
Oh yeah. Get you
Wow.
some 2 p.m. Thursday blood sport.
You know what I'm going to be more excited for that week than the Blood Money show?
Hitting
Season-
menopause.
That too. Yeah. Season 2 of Lock and Key on Netflix. That's what I'm excited for. I could give two
I heard-
fucking shits less about.
I heard Lock and Key was good, but I never
It's really
watched
good.
it. Watch Squid Game, by the way. Let's not get off track, but watch Squid Game.
Okay.
It's super
So
good.
I wish
What
Vince
was-
McMahon was in Squid Game.
Me
God.
too.
what was the usual October pay-per-view that WWE used to have? Was there one?
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, but they moved
Oh,
that to the
good.
summer because summer heat, Hell in a Cell.
Hey,
Reasons.
wordplay. We're WWE. We like wordplay. What
Such
is
good shit.
what is happening? What is really happening right now? The WWE used to be like the show that everybody wanted to watch, the wrestling show that everybody wanted to watch. Raw, SmackDown, especially NXT. What
They're just
has it?
drinking up all that dumb fuck juice, man. I'm just
What- Is it that, or is it okay? So this is a totally legitimate question. It might sound sarcastic or stupid because let's face it, it comes out of my mouth, so it has a very good chance of sounding sarcastic and stupid at the same time.
Fair point.
But completely serious question, though, fellas. Completely serious. Has WWE really gone this far downhill and this off the rails into confusion, or have we just watched too long and have become jaded because, as Beef likes to say, we're smart marks? Like, we know the behind the scenes of the business. We keep up on, you know, what people within WWE are saying, people that have left WWE because of the internet, social media, all that stuff. People coming out and doing shoot interviews and things like that, telling realistic stories. Like, this is my actual experience, not what you saw on TV. This is what actually was happening. Have we become jaded and we can't see past that, or has it really deteriorated to the point where we're constantly complaining about it?
Bit of both, honestly.
Yep.
There's definitely been a decline in. There's definitely been a decline for me personally in just the overall interest. Like, so, for example, when I was at my old place, there was a period of time where I didn't have cable, and I made sure to get it whenever the debut of AEW came around or whatever. I thought I had it for a little while and then I got rid of it. I can't remember what the deal was. But regardless, I made sure that I was, cable, like that I was ready for that, like, whenever AEW came around. Then keep in mind there was also that period of time where a certain somebody who I vehemently despise won a title off of a certain somebody that was fiendishly good, shall we say? And
Duke Silver. No, not Duke Silver. Bill Goldberg.
Why do you
Duke Silver?
Why'd you have to use his full Christian name?
Fucking Duke Silver.
Jewish name.
Anyways.
This guy. What a Goya.
Go, L'chaim.
L'chaim. Anyways, no, but
Oy vey.
But there was a period of time I stopped watching, and then eventually I was like, all right, I'll get back into it. I have no rush to get into back into watching the weeklies. I'm gonna get Hulu here. But I don't even know if I'll try watching Raw and SmackDown. So there has been a decline for me personally, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way in overall interest, because we're seeing just lazy creative. It has not so much to do with the wrestlers themselves, and we've talked about this before, where you can't blame somebody like I don't know, for example, like, okay, when none of us wanted anything to do with Roman Reigns, just because it was like, okay, well, you know what, you're like okay in the ring and you're getting better on the mic, but you're still being shoved down our faces, baby face, like, this is our guy, cheer for him. And we were like, no, fuck him.
Dark face baby meat.
Yeah, and now they put him in a heel program, and it's the best work that he's done, I think, ever in his career so far. And it just goes to show, like, it's not necessarily always the wrestler's fault. A lot of times it's creative. They how many times do we hear that from somebody like CM Punk, even when he was like, yeah, I asked them, what was next, and they're like, I don't know, we don't have anything for you.
Oh.
Now, again, there's, it's a little bit of give and take with, okay, well, if creative doesn't have something for you, you have to be able to sell yourself. You should always be thinking up ideas and stuff like that to keep your career moving. However, when you're in the environment that everything is so heavily scripted and you have next to zero creative freedom, and any sort of wiggle room to suggest something, or when you do suggest something, that you get shot down, then it makes you not want to try. So, I mean, I don't know. It's I think, like I said, it's both. We are also jaded. There are many times I catch myself and I'm like, oh God, I'm being so cynical, or I'm being so nihilistic. But like, honestly, like, I have no problem pointing out the good and the bad with AEW. I have no problem pointing out the good and bad with WWE, and it just sucks that for them, in my opinion, there's a lot more bad than good. And I want to watch. I want to be invested. I want to be able to be like, hey guys, it's not all that bad. But like, there's a lot of times where I just can't fucking bring myself to do that. And I'm like, no, it's a pile of drizzling shit right now. Like, it's not worth watching.
And that's a fucking bummer, man, because like
I
mean, and we can roundly agree that in general, like, if we're talking really in generalities here, wrestling is so much fun.
It is.
Like, it is. It's so much fun. It's so great. And when wrestling, I remember it used to be the statement, wrestling's like pizza. Even bad pizza is still pizza. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing. Like, and I know that pertains to the sex thing. Even bad sex is still sex. Like, but like the thing with wrestling now is it's like the fact that you're like, you want it to be good, but when wrestling is good, it's great. When wrestling is not so good, it's fucking terrible. Like, that's just how it is nowadays.
So I want to go back to a point that Tom made about, like, Ransom said, are we jaded or is it bad? Yeah, it's a little bit of both. But I'm going to be real with you. Over the last year, pretty much since there was a couple months there where I think we were all kind of burnt out from the pandemic. But since probably about July of last year, I said, you know what? I'm just going to try to take everything with WWE pay-per-views at face value. Like, Raw and SmackDown happen, whatever, I don't care. I'm going to try and sit down and objectively enjoy their pay-per-views. And I think that helped. But I'll also say this. There was never a moment at any point within the last year and a half that I sat up and I said, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening during a WWE event.
Yeah.
There were times that were close. WrestleMania Night 1 was a shining star in an otherwise dog turd littered field of crap. So they can do it. But here's the thing. As I mentioned, I completely lowered my expectations and I said, let's just let the chips fall where they may. WWE is trying not to be too hot or too cold. And there's something to be said for that. But unfortunately, whenever you're lukewarm, that also means that you're lukewarm. Like, you're going to have your detractors, but you're also never really going to have anybody going, oh, did you see this awesome moment on, Extreme Rules? Did you see this awesome point on SummerSlam? No, nobody does that because there weren't any awesome points on any of those shows.
Well, and I think, honestly, to your point, I'm a slightly disagree with one thing that you said. I don't think it's just been because of like the pandemic burnout.
I didn't say that.
Point. Well,
I said the first couple of months we were all kind of
the first couple. Okay, so even that, I think this like decline in what they've been doing and just kind of coasting and not really giving it their all or giving it their best effort. And I'm talking about creative and production end of things, not the performers themselves, because there are people that go out there and they give it their all every night, but they're stuck in an environment where it feels like everything is just kind of on autopilot. I think that's been going on even since before the pandemic. You know what I mean? Like,
we've said it literally probably since the beginning of this podcast.
Pretty much.
Seriously.
How many times since the inception of this podcast have we said, not that I want to wish death on anybody, but it's gonna be a bright spot whenever Triple H or somebody can take over that doesn't feel like that they're out of touch with the current times and everything. And
I honestly still have this gut feeling that they're gearing up for a sale.
Oh yeah, I will wholeheartly agree with you on that. Everything that they've been doing, and if you're to believe some of the talks that have been had, in the boardrooms and stuff like that, everything that they're doing gears towards sale. And it honestly wouldn't surprise me, but man, I don't know. That kind of worries me in itself. That might be a topic to dive more in depth to on the next show. But
I don't see a lot of downside to it, honestly, because it's pretty low right now, and it sucks because we know the talent is there. We know they have the Bobby Roodes and the Dolph Zigglers that are doing absolutely nothing. We know they have the Rhea Ripleys that are fucking tag team champions. We know that they have Shayna Baszler wasting away in a fucking terrible feud with Nia Jax. Like, we know that they have, fucking Finn Balor job and his demon character.
Which is just a travesty. That is a legit travesty.
That, I think, makes it all the worse. To sit here and go, okay, they had a lot of chances, and they have the tools to go out there and do exactly what AEW did. I'll be honest, when I got the fucking quadruple goosebumps I got during All Out, during the final sequence there,
yeah, dude,
absolutely made me remember why I love to be a wrestling fan.
Yep.
I've in the time since we've been doing this podcast and all the times that we've gotten together for different pay-per-view viewings and stuff like that, or even whenever we've been on the Discord when we haven't actually physically been together, I don't think I've ever seen Beef more excited from beginning to end through a show than I had been than what I saw him at All Out. Because
it was very.
Because I mean, how much he popped for Minoru Suzuki, and then, like you said, everything in the end sequence, the cage match. I mean, everything from top to bottom. It was
very reminiscent of the Monday Night War, where we would watch Raw and Nitro to see who would go where.
Right.
Here's the thing: everybody's going to AEW. Even fucking 3, 4, 5 years ago, we'd watch the takeovers to see who shows up in the crowd.
Right.
Because that's going to show us who their next big name's going to be.
Yep.
They haven't introduced anybody new, like new on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. So I digress. I'll walk that one back. They have introduced them, but they're new. Well, meaning that they haven't been seen on the fucking independent scene. They're a bunch of nobodies that nobody knows about, so they can't be excited about.
No, the last new person they really introduced that that wasn't just some sort of indie darling was probably Frankie Monet. That's probably been it. That's somebody that had made a name for themselves elsewhere that wasn't just the indie scene. Now, granted, it was Impact and Lucha Underground that she's been in.
Yeah, but I mean, people speak Taya Valkyrie in very hushed tones. Like, she is very much revered as a women's wrestler.
Right, but there's something that you said, and I think is worth noting. You said about how going back and flipping back and forth between the Raw and Nitro and stuff like that. The problem with the current mindset in WWE with the higher ups or with Vince in particular is that he does not feel. I mean, he said it. Now I don't know. His attitude would have you believe that he doesn't believe that AEW is legitimate competition. I know that he said that. I'm sure there are parts of him or somebody. There have to be people within the company that are going, wow, how are we going to top that? And from the lack of action or reaction, you would think that Vince really doesn't consider them competition. And he's a damn fool for not doing so, because look at how many of his talents that he's let go that have gone there, and people that that WWE couldn't figure out what the fuck to do with, that have had some modicum of success in AEW. Regardless, even if they're not holding titles, they're getting more TV time and stuff like that now than they were in fucking WWE. Look at even though she lost, look at the fucking rocket that Ruby Riott got. And I'm sorry, Ruby Soho. I don't want to use her slave name. Look at the rocket that got strapped to her back whenever she debuted. She debuted at All Out. She won the Battle Royal. She got a title match instantly, right there. How many times did she ever get a title match in WWE?
She had a shot at the women's, the NXT women's title. Okay. I think she had a shot, but she didn't win.
Wasn't what if I'm correct? Was that not in like a fatal 4-way match or something? It wasn't a 1-on-1. Because I thought it was like her, Ember. It was like her, Ember Moon, and like two others.
Well, and it's just a shame that we're having this conversation and not being able to remember.
Exactly. Yep. That's the thing. It's a very forgettable thing. Hell, the fact that they had a faction there in the Riot Squad, and not once were they WWE Women's Tag Team Champions at all. Fucking give me a break, dude. Like, that's a waste right there. I'm sorry. You can't tell me that it pisses me off whenever I hear that, quote unquote, oh well, creative didn't have anything for me or whatever. And that's why, that's why if creative doesn't have anything for these wrestlers, that's why they're not on TV. Well, then you know what? Maybe you should fucking let them have a little bit creative freedom and fucking come up with some of their own ideas. And if they can't, fine, then that's on them. And if they don't get on TV, that's their own fault.
What a novel fucking idea, huh?
I know.
Or at least let them like run things like Twitch and things to their own behest, so that if they're not being used on TV, they can still make money. Yep. Adam Cole is, I think, over the last 3 years, has made $300,000 on Twitch alone.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, when Vince says if you resign here, you have to give up your Twitch. That's a fucking no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. I'm gonna go work with my best friends, probably get an increase in pay, and keep this side business where I'm making $300,000 a year. No problem.
Dude, I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason why they don't want the Twitch things to continue is because I think this harkens the whole way back to Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder used the internet to get himself over where WWE wasn't going to do it.
Yep.
It's not that Zack Ryder, as much as I like to shit on the dude, I don't think it was because Zack Ryder couldn't get himself, I don't think it was because Zack Ryder wouldn't be able to get over if WWE had given him the push. I think that they didn't see any value in him. He was an enhancement talent, and that was it. For them, the best thing that he could do was to be one of two jabronis that hung around with Edge whenever him and
Kurt Hawkins
were like the Edge cronies. Like that was the highlight of his career for them. That was where they had him stationed at. And then when he got himself over on the internet, he became so popular that I think Vince saw that and is now thinking to himself, this goes against what I want to have happen. If I don't want these people to get over, if I don't see value in them, if they get over on the internet, social media, Twitch, whatever the case is, if they get over with fans there, fans are going to start clamoring for them in the crowd. They're going to start chants. They're going to start, we want this guy, we want that guy. And when they don't get them, they're going to start booing everybody. They're going to start chanting for Michael Cole and JBL and Beach Ball. And I really believe that
Beach Ball Mania floating wild.
Brother. I think that Vince doesn't want that to happen again. He doesn't want another Zack Ryder situation. So he's saying to these people that have, a decent amount of popularity on whatever they decide to do on the internet, no, can't do that. Not while you're working here, because I don't want you to get over with the fans on your own. If we're not behind you, no. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that might be part of the reason.
And that's a damn shame, because I'll give you two words that go completely against that, and that I guarantee made WWE money. Ready? Daniel Bryan.
Sure.
Now we'll use his slave name in that sense, because that was.
They fought Daniel Bryan for so fucking long, and when he got his concussion, they're like, "This is our opportunity.
Here's our out."
To where we can get you out of the picture, still have you involved to keep fans happy. They were so elated. Now, to read the story from Daniel Bryan, he believes that Vince is kind of protective like a father. I don't see that at all. And you know what? I'm not Bryan Danielson. I'm not Vince McMahon. I can't determine what their feelings were for one another, how they acted, their conversations. But based upon the information that I do know, that I have heard, that I have read, it 100%, they were like, this is it. This is our chance to get out of this. And everybody save face. When he came back, they didn't want to have him back. They said, we're not letting you wrestle again. He said, okay, fine. I will not resign my contract. I'll go wrestle in Mexico and in Japan. I'll do a hair versus mask match with somebody. I will go make somebody else money. And at that point, they're like, all right, fine, fuck it. Like, if you're determined to kill yourself, allegedly, go for it.
Well, whenever
it wasn't that.
whenever I mentioned his name, I meant more so the Yes Movement and the fact that he got over.
Oh yeah.
Organically, and that made them money in merchandise and tickets and everything else. And, with the whole Yeselmania, everything. Like the fact that Vince wouldn't be willing to budge and roll with it. Like, oh wow, we have lightning in a bottle. Let's fucking use it. Nope. Let's just stay the course and let's just fucking ignore everything from the fans. And I understand that as wrestling fans, and I'm going to say in general, sports entertainment, sports fans in general, I see it here all the time in Pittsburgh, and I'm sure it's the same in every other city too. Your team loses one game or something. Well, fucking fire the coach and get rid of this player and get rid of that player and do this and do that. And I get it that fans can be fickle, but there is a certain amount of, you got to give the people, you got to give them something of what they want. And
in a business that's entirely done behind the scenes, like,
right.
Football is completely different because it's a legit game. People are actually legit competing with each other. Wrestling is all done behind the scenes. Yes, it's a very physical sport, but there's no secret anymore that everything is predetermined.
Right.
So when something is predetermined, you have that ability to go, oh, fans want this. Let's make fans happy. Let's make us more money. Let's get lots of merch sales. And I think the prime example of Vince McMahon or the WWE machine saying, fine, we can no longer ignore this Yes Movement. It's too much. We can't ignore it. So we're going to give you what you want, but we're going to give you what you want as reluctantly as we possibly can, which is why Daniel Bryan didn't get a spotlighted WrestleMania moment during the Yes Movement. He was relegated to a triple threat match. Now, some people might say, oh, well, he beat two main eventers in one match. And you know what? I think the decision to do that was based upon WWE could no longer ignore the Yes Movement. It was too much. So they had to pull the trigger on it to satiate people. But at the same time, they weren't going to give Daniel Bryan the 100% rub that he deserved. Like, okay, fine, we're going to slot you in this triple threat match where you win the title. Some people may say it differently, and that's fine. But in my view, that was a Vince McMahon going, all right, fine, you want this? Fine, you're going to get it. But ...
Yeah, I can see that. And because then it's like, all right, well, they can still keep the other person looking strong or whatever, regardless if they need to or not. They still keep, so and so looking strong while the other person eats the pin or whatever. I get that. So yeah, it boggles my mind that they don't look back on that and say, oh, well, maybe there was something to this, especially with the whole Fiend thing. Now, again, I will say, I had heard one other person say that after Brody Lee's passing, that Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt, aka the Fiend, was dealing with a lot of mental issues and stuff, and he took it really, really hard and everything like that. And if that's the reason why WWE kind of just like went to the wayside with kind of pushing him and stuff like that, and they are like, hey, listen, if you need to go take care of yourself, you go do that. We'll write you off into the sunset or whatever. If that was the reason why they did that, and the whole Alexa thing there, the way that went down at Mania, okay, I get it. But I feel like there could have been better ways to do something like that. Like, how many times do we see when somebody quote unquote gets, they get written off, they get quote unquote injured, or something, whatever. We see it
buried
happen all the
alive.
time. Yeah, whatever. We see that happen all the time. We know that. You're like, okay, well, with the dawn of social media, being what it is and stuff, we can see like, oh, well, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are having a kid. So if there's like a big match coming up or something that involves Johnny and there's a big stipulation or something, if it's a loser leaves NXT or if it's a title match or something, we know he's probably going to lose so he can go spend time with his wife. And that's all well and fine. I get that. And I understand that probably makes creative's job harder. I'm not going to deny that. Like, listen, I'm not saying I could go write WWE creative on the weekly or something like that. Kudos to them for what they do. But come on. Like, you have to, I'm sure they don't just pick up some fucking rando and be like, hey, come be creative for us. No, they seek out writers and stuff like that. You're getting professional writers. So
it doesn't matter because they write, and then Vince just tears the whole thing up and says, here's what we're doing.
Well, then there you go. There's the fucking problem. I mean, like, no fucking surprise. There's the fucking problem. So come on.
So we've circled back around to Vince McMahon as the problem. Boys, just giving you the heads up, we hit an hour.
Let's get some. I know we have 2 shows a week now when we don't have a Breaking Kayfabe episode, but I still think in each episode we should probably do our due diligence and thank the people that do sponsor the show. So why don't we go ahead and hit ourselves up with a burrito time? And Poot, if you want to go ahead and thank these sponsors.
Yeah, man, I can gladly do that. I want to thank Casual Gaming Dad and his page, Casual Gaming Dad, over on Facebook. Make sure you go check it out. He plays a lot of really good games, streams a lot of good stuff. You can also find him on Twitch and YouTube. Just search for Casual Gaming Dad 84 and Casual Gaming Dad. Want to also thank Frig Off Ransom, our very own Ransom, and his channel over on YouTube. Make sure you go check him out. Absolutely hilarious guy. We also want to thank Mr. Sean Tischler and his work with the Central PA wrestling scene, actually all over Pennsylvania, and really, 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 really hoping that we can get out to an independent show here sooner rather than later. We also want to go back, going back here to Casual Gaming Dad, want to thank Gould Gaming for allowing us to have the P3 podcast shirt on Casual Gaming Dad's store. By the way, pick up a lot of his merch along with the P3 shirt. You go to gouldgaming.com and search on Casual Gaming Dad. It's pretty simple there, I would say. And
side note on that, if you have any problems with the website in the coming week or two, just to let you know, they are doing like a whole new like revamp of the website. It's going to be more streamlined, better to use, and anything like that. So if you do experience any issues, just be patient, and you'll get your stuff. But yeah, keep an eye out for a new and improved Gould Gaming website.
Ooh,
so
well, it's already pretty good. So I can't wait to see where it's going to go from there. Make sure you keep an eye out for the other episode for this week. We'll get to that one. But right now, we got to finish this off. Stinger.
No, that's not how you do it.
Seems like it is.
Show's over.
There it was.
Show's over, stupid.
Wow.